Have you ever wondered what connects every single part inside your computer and allows them to communicate with each other? That powerful component is called the motherboard, and without it, your PC would simply not work. The motherboard is often described as the backbone or nervous system of a computer. It is the large printed circuit board that holds and connects all the essential components of your system. Think of it like a city map. Every road, traffic signal, and building is connected through this central infrastructure. And in the same way, the motherboard connects the CPU, RAM, storage drives, graphics card, and other components into one working system. When you open your computer case, the motherboard is the largest board you see, usually mounted to the case with screws. It contains slots, connectors, ports, and tiny electronic pathways that allow electrical signals to travel between components. At the center of the motherboard sits the CPU socket. This is where the central processing unit, often called the brain of the computer, is installed. The motherboard provides power to the CPU and allows it to communicate with memory and storage. Without the motherboard, the CPU would have no way to send or receive data. Next to the CPU socket, you will usually find RAM slots. These long vertical slots hold memory modules. RAM stores temporary data that the CPU needs quickly. The motherboard ensures that data flows rapidly between the CPU and RAM, so applications can run smoothly. Another important part of the motherboard is the chipset. The chipset acts like a traffic controller. It manages communication between the CPU, memory, storage, and expansion devices. In modern systems, many of these functions are integrated directly into the CPU, but the chipset still plays a critical coordinating role. You will also find PCIe slots on the motherboard. These are expansion slots used for graphics cards, sound cards, network cards, and other expansion devices. If you install a powerful GPU for gaming or video editing, it connects directly into one of these PCIe slots. Storage devices connect to the motherboard through SATA ports or M.2 slots. SATA ports are commonly used for traditional hard drives and SSDs, while M.2 slots are used for high-speed NVMe SSDs. The motherboard manages how data moves between storage and the CPU. Power delivery is another major function of the motherboard. It receives power from the power supply unit and distributes it carefully to each component. The VRMs, or voltage regulator modules, ensure that the CPU receives stable and clean power. This is extremely important for performance and stability. The motherboard also includes input and output ports, often called I/O ports. These are located on the back panel of your PC. USB ports, HDMI ports, Ethernet ports, and audio jacks are all part of the motherboard. These ports allow you to connect external devices like keyboards, mice, monitors, and network cables. Modern motherboards also contain BIOS or UEFI firmware. This is low-level software stored on a chip. When you turn on your computer, the BIOS initializes the hardware and ensures everything is functioning before handing control over to the operating system. Motherboards come in different sizes called form factors. The most common ones are ATX, Micro-ATX, and Mini-ITX. The form factor determines the size of the board, the number of slots available, and what type of case it will fit into. When choosing a motherboard, compatibility is critical. It must support your CPU socket type, RAM generation, storage type, and expansion needs. A powerful CPU will not work if the motherboard socket is different. In simple terms, the motherboard is not just a board with wires. It is the communication highway, the power distributor, and the control center of your entire computer. Every click you make, every game you play, and every file you save passes through it. So next time you power on your PC, remember that behind the scenes, the motherboard is coordinating everything silently and efficiently, acting as the backbone that keeps your system alive. And that is why the motherboard truly deserves the title, the backbone of your PC.